Can we talk about something that nobody warned me about after my autism diagnosis? Not the relief, not the validation, not finally understanding myself, but the anger. Because once I understood I was autistic, I started looking back at my life through a completely different lens. And some days I wasn't sad, I was furious. When people hear late diagnosed autistic adults talk about anger, they sometimes assume that we're angry because we got a diagnosis. That's not it. We're angry because of everything that happened before the diagnosis. We're angry because we spent decades believing things about ourselves that simply weren't true. Some examples: that we're lazy, too sensitive, dramatic, difficult, weird, selfish, self centered, or just not trying hard enough. We weren't failing, we were just struggling with something nobody recognized. So after your diagnosis, you start replaying memories, conversations, school experiences, relationships, jobs, and suddenly things that never made sense or make sense, like the sensory overwhelm, the exhaustion, the social confusion, the burnout, and you realize you weren't broken, you were unsupported. And the truth is that a lot of anger is grief wearing armor. We're grieving for the child that wasn't understood, the teenager who felt different, the adult who spent years masking, the opportunities that we lost, the accommodations that we never received, the compassion we should have been given, and the grief. The grief often arrives as anger first. So the hardest part isn't being angry. The hardest part is figuring out where to put that anger, because we can't go back. We can't redo our childhoods. We can't get those years back. But we can finally stop directing all that anger towards ourselves. So if you've been diagnosed later in life and you're feeling angry, you're not doing autism wrong. You're not being ungrateful. You're not being selfish. You're not stuck. You're processing. You're grieving. And maybe for the first time in your life, you're seeing the truth of what you carried alone for so many years. And that truth deserves to be acknowledged. So tell me in the comment. So, did anger show up for you after your diagnosis too? As far as a personal story as a nurse, I spent years extending compassion to everyone around me. But after my diagnosis, I realized I had never extended that same compassion to myself.